Hey, Amie, this is Amie Ichikawa of Woman to Woman. Welcome back. And you're going to be telling me something really interesting. I was surprised. I follow you on Instagram, and I saw this whole thing. I was watching what Save Women's Sports was doing in Atlanta. I saw that Kellie Jay Keen, went into the swim meet. She was pointing out, and cheater, cheater, and all that stuff. But out in the hallway, or the corridor outside of the women's and men's bathrooms and stuff, she had an exchange with this guy who I vaguely remember this name, Dawn Ennis, Dawn, Dawn Ennis, man in a dress. And it kind of went viral, where she and then Beth Stelzer also was behind when he said she was simply asking him, please don't use the women's bathrooms. It makes women and girls uncomfortable. They got into a thing. He referred to himself as a mother, which everybody was angry. He referred to her basically as a dog. And I'm thinking, where have I seen this guy before? On your Instagram, and way before this incident even happened. Girl, you were on this guy. Please tell us about it, because it's a wild story.
Well, yeah. You can only imagine how surprised I was that this person, you know, started some more appropriating kind of behavior. It's such a colonizer attitude. It's such a arrogant, takeoverish kind of thing. I first noticed this. Forbes magazine published, or actually, Dawn, I believe, works for Forbes. So they published an article called, I don't know, let me share the screen and show you. It is called Why Trans People Fear a Repeat of This Atrocity 80 Years Ago. So Dawn dropped this article on, Internment Remembrance Day, which really couldn't have been any more disrespectful. It's the day of remembrance for Executive Order 9066, when Roosevelt put all the Japanese Americans in internment camp, which is where they put my family. So you can only imagine how frustrating it is for me to now see people not only trying on entire genders, you're going to try on racial trauma too. So the article itself used this photograph of this little Japanese girl sitting on luggage waiting to go to the horse stalls in Santa Anita as clickbait. So that's disgusting to me. That's like a real dirtbag move.
Where was this posted, Amie?
It's in Forbes magazine.
Okay.
So I thought, what's the best thing I can do? Let me just write about it. So on my little baby Patreon page, I just wrote a response, just saying I can't be quiet. I have to say something about this, literally. And I just went into detail about how this privileged group now is unique of all people. They have men's rights, women's rights, trans rights, and most importantly, white privilege. There's no other sector of people that are more empowered or entitled than them. There is no one else in the world who's ever been able to take the trauma and plight of every minority and every underprivileged group and make it about themselves. So I did that, and it went unnoticed. It wasn't a big deal. I just needed a vent. I needed to get that out of the way. And when I saw the argument at the swim meet, automatically I felt some type of way because of the aggressive behavior, because of the aggressive body language that I noticed that a lot of people probably didn't. I saw this person pivot on the ball of their foot, take a step back, roll the shoulder back, and I was like, no, because this is physically aggressive. What I would characterize as an abusive, in my experience, abusive male behavior. This is an automatic reflex of somebody who's going to get ready to deck you. So I'm like, and that was when I figured I'm going to analyze this. I made a little video with the labels on it, labeling how I was experiencing the whole thing. And then I dropped my link in in the comment section on someone's tweet who had said, what is this? Somebody was irritated with the whole incident. So then this person decided to say that I'm a grifter and I'm a dirtbag. So let me show that to you. It got a little funky. Let's see. Where is the initial one? Not that one. This one. Well, let's just start here. So this is what happened. We just got into it. This was me. I just said Dawn Ennis is a warthog and has there with no shame or limit of who she, being polite, will appropriate. The response to this.
Well, you are on Twitter, and so you were playing it safe and referring to him as a she. I get it. I get it.
And this is the response. You know, I sympathize with you and applaud the bravery of your grandparents, but I stand by what I wrote because, like it or not, there are Japanese Americans that can be trans, gay, lesbian, bi, queer, pan, straight, and cis. With George Takei on my side, I fear nothing and no one. Whoa, because I'm so scared. You know, George Takei, I don't care. I'm not concerned about, I didn't even mention anything about Japanese people or their sexuality or anything like that. Right. I just said, this is such Darvo. This is such a deflection of refusal to take responsibility of what I'm calling into accountability. And this is what always happens. They always want to flip the script and make it look like I'm some kind of a racist. This is not what was happening. I was calling this person out on them trying on racially induced trauma for an outfit. It's not like your summer bathing suit or something.
And also, Amie, I mean, of all things, what the hell you are dealing with are women that are incarcerated and some men that are incarcerated. I know you have a lot of contact with too. And it's literally about your people being incarcerated, which is what happened during that time that you brought up. So it's not just about race. It's also about incarceration of a people.
So it's a double whammy.
You're feeling the double, you're feeling the double thing that he's just being so offensive about.
And look, it's saying that I'm trying to capitalize on the pylon. So at some point I said, I'm not bandwagoning. I made the bandwagon last month. This isn't anything new. And I even went so far as to direct message because I thought, hey, you know what? Let's take advantage of Twitter live spaces. Let's talk. Let's talk, you and I. will be completely respectful. We won't let anybody jump in. Let's just have them listen to us as adults talk out the issue that we have at hand.
Would you read out that message that you sent to Dawn?
I said, Dawn, I have an idea. Would you be open to sharing a space with me? I give you my word. I will respectfully and professionally debate with you our issue. We don't have to let anyone else speak. They can just listen to us, talk to each other. Please don't feel pressured to respond. Take your time to think about it and let me know your thoughts when you're comfortable. For the record, I'm a women's prison advocate. That's my deal. Shortly after that, I was blocked.
On Twitter by him? By her?
Yes. And I mean, obviously, because we're not going to be able to share a space where they can tell the truth.
Right.
There's no time to manipulate. There's no time to figure out how to further demonize me. So that's not an option. I even got messages, days after. I'd tell you what's going on in that chat, but I know you already have enough on your plate. So, it went on for a couple more days, which is expected. But that's.
So the thing that struck me was that this obviously this guy gets around a lot. He's doing a lot of things. And that you were on this like 3 weeks before the swim meet even happened. It's just an interesting kind of update. But what he was accusing you of being involved in the pylon, he meant like weeks later, he's getting piled on by all these all these people that were objecting to what he did at the swim meet, right? It had nothing to do with your, so in a way, it's really interesting. And that's why I wanted to bring you on. And I'd like to have you as a irregular guest on here. I think every couple of weeks, I want to know, because Amie, the thing about the swim meet, and I wanted you to kind of give me your impressions about this. I know that when something like that comes up, and it's no dissing on the fact that men being in women's sports is a huge, it's a huge red flag. I mean, it's been for years. Beth Stelzer got on this thing, pretty early, and she built that whole platform from just sheer passion for trying to save women to be able to have fair, equal playing field in their sports. And it's gone to hell in a handbasket at this point. So she's been out there a warrior. And then these more people are getting on board, and then we get some males and some coaches and athletes and stuff like that. It finally got to a point, and I know that you see this going on, and we see the word elite swimmers and Ivy League, and then the parents, it's great because they came out with the letter they did. I'd like you to tell me how this affected you as somebody who, every day you go to bed at night. It's kind of like, I've been around the kids, that's my wheelhouse, thinking about these kids that are being mutilated all over my city because of this area. You see all this attention, you see this peaking, you see these people like, yeah, that's not right. And they're kind of getting there. And yet the front that you're fighting is every freaking day. Am I being exaggerating when I say you get emails from women that are being put literally in danger, physical danger every day in these institutions? You're having direct contact with these people, but everybody's looking at, some would say, oh, those are rich girls, that are able to do this thing, and everybody cares about them, but they're not paying attention to what's going on. Is that, because that's kind of how I was looking at it, even though I know it's important. And it could take all the story away from what you've been fighting on. But would you share with me a little bit about what you've gone through thinking about this?
It was like a big old kick in the gut. It made me finally understand that nobody cares.
About what?
About women in prison. They're done. Nobody gives 2 cents. Nobody cares at all. At one point I was like, what do I do? Do I just say, like, you're dead already? There's nothing I can do, because once you get off the bus and you're state property, even before that, women didn't, nobody cared about you really. So that's how it felt. That's how I took it on. Like, this is difficult. This is difficult. I didn't know the cross was that heavy when I picked it up to start this race, that I'm literally going to have to teach people that women in prison do have value. It might not be societal value, but it's some kind of value. And I am probably going to have to ride on the coattails of the athletes in order to get any attention or raise any awareness on what's going on. And it's so frustrating, because the young ladies, the swimmers, they can get off the block. They can go to a different school. They can go to a community college and get the same degree, and it ain't going to make a difference, because nobody really cares about your. Anyway, they have voices still. They have choices, and the people that I'm working with don't. They have no rights, no voices. It's done. So I was hoping maybe I could inspire or encourage the swimmers to do it, to just stop this public humiliation and stop allowing this abuse that is now becoming self-abuse. Because once you know something's happening and you're continuing to do it, you're participating in your abuse as well. So I wanted to share with them some stories, some encouragement, some letters, some messages, because the ladies and I, we all, a few of us talked, and they were like, this is just horrible. This is horrible what's happening. And I was like, dang, what's horrible? What's happening to you? But, I was told, I got checked, and they said, Amie, every woman's problem is your problem, because it's a woman's problem. So I had to swallow this giant pill. And I did, and there's this awesome girl on Twitter named Skirt Goes Spinny, and she made the coolest, most amazing little video out of using clips from a phone call Tamika and I had. And it was a really good phone call. We were both really amped up about the fact that they have to stand up. I mean, this is an opportunity. These young people have the most power in their hands. They could change the direction of the whole world right now. They could just belly flop. They could put Alka-Seltzer in their bathing suits. They could just not show up. You can't win if you have no competition, right? You can't beat us in our own sport if we're not there. Mm-hmm. So we did a little something. Let me share it with you. It's pretty freaking awesome. It's, where is it? Elastic, just kidding. It is here.
Okay.
Can you hear it?
Get the volume all up. Make sure the volume's happening. Nope.
Volume? No volume?
Yeah, no volume.
Oh, darn. Well, it's really awesome. Let me tell you. It's like the coolest thing you've ever seen. Every goddess that, like in world history, is dancing and encouraging.
It's from Nina Paley's artwork.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. I kind of tried to share with Tamika as much as I can over the phone. Obviously, she can't see, but it was a huge encouragement to her. We were hoping that it would make its way to at least the parents, just to give them a little extra boost. Because, we all love parents in my camp, because, it's really must be awesome to have parents that love you and are advocating for you on that level. So
didn't you and Tamika write something? Didn't you write
mm-hmm.
something that would you read that out? Do you have access to that?
I do.
I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And one of those things, like, I get it, Amie, about, for different reasons, about swallowing that giant pill. And I can always relate back to the fact that I'm a lesbian, and the whole thing of the women's movement, in America has always number one and first, white heterosexual women get to have the say as to what's going on, how we're supposed to protest, how we're supposed to give speeches, who we're supposed to platform, all of that. It's part of the reason I created this channel, right?
It's wild.
And you got oh my God, this is about women. It doesn't matter about money. Weren't you talking to me about that the other day? Money, race, whatever. You kind of like, this is almost a year after you went to WeSpa, and in your younger, days thinking, oh, women, we don't have to worry anymore. Everybody's taking care of that. And then you're like, here it is. It's not even quite a year. And isn't it true for you that whether you were doing this prison work or not, that you're getting every week a new angle and seeing from Twitter and everything else how this is all about our sex-based rights?
It's so bad. Like yesterday, you're going to trip out. Yesterday, I just got news before I go to this letter that male to female medications in prison are not considered a hot med. They're a cold med. So it's optional. You go to Medline or you don't go to Medline. Female to male medications are hot meds, and you have to go to Medline and get your meds, or you get in write-up. So, wait till we get into that.
That'll be the next time. Yeah, let's get into this letter, and then
it's dirty. Let me get the letter. This was the message. This is the message. We'd like to share some encouragement with the UPenn swim team. We know there are some of you who are uncomfortable, who feel completely futile, like you have no choices, that if you take a stand for what you know is right, that you'll lose everything you've worked for your entire life. You might be thinking that it's just one more season, I can make it, I'm almost there, it'll be worth it, my parents will kill me if I make a fuss, no one's going to talk to me anymore, I'm not a transphobe, I just need to train harder, it's science. We want you to know that we recognize how complex of a position you've been forced into. We also want you to know that you have more power than anyone else in the whole world right now. You have the ability to stop all of this. You ladies have choices and voices that can still be made and heard. You are being given the opportunity of a lifetime to make a choice that will affect generations of women and girls behind you. This will all stop if you free yourselves from the social constructs that have convinced you that an Ivy League degree is worth subjecting yourselves to public humiliation and abuse. The ideology that has forced you to believe that the job you'll get with the degree from a university that hates you is worth the way you're feeling right now is a mental prison. We want to give you the keys to free yourselves from this bondage. There's no winner and there's no competition if you get out of the water, ladies. Get out of the water and be free. Do it for yourselves. Do it for our sisters in prisons. Do it for the women who don't have the ability to make choices or be heard anymore. We're cheering for all of you, including Lia, to do the right thing. Come on, Quakers. Laws without morals are useless.
This reminds me of what happened, with the Parkland shootings in Florida and the high schoolers that said, hey, we got to do something. We got to say something. Kids that, it used to be kids that thought they had no power. That created, it got world publicity. This is the kind of publicity you should be getting, Amie, for the work that you're doing. I really appreciate you coming on, doing this little thing with me. I always feel just blessed that you're willing to do this. I know taking you out of a busy day. And thank you.
There's always time for Joey.
And the vulnerability that you show with this, because I know you share with me like, I thought this and that, but this is why I want to do the channel. The revealing of the processes that we go through, saying the ability to say something like, I thought that, but I was all wrong about that. And then it moved to this, and then that didn't work either. But then this thing worked. And then I talked to her, and then this thing worked, This is where we're going with this stuff. So you really, and I love your new background. I think it's great.
Thank you. You helped me so much this morning.
I'm going to be putting this stuff, all in the description. I want to get your Patreon. I see that you need to have a lot more people every month. And I'm going to say it right now. Anybody that buys any coffee, any time in the day or during the week, look at how much money you're spending on that. Even if you did a third of that and gave it to woman, go to their website. I'll have it down there. Amie, we'll talk again soon, another couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Thank you, Joey.
Thanks so much.